So I want to talk about owning your own advertising data. Try and make this work. There we go. Okay. So really this is about how advertising's changed to some extent. So let's first look at the very old model. So you'd have a marketing person decide a budget, they'd get an ad agency in who would take a commission on what you're doing, usually anywhere between 10 and 20%. The ads would run and then a report would come back at the end of it. Your report used to look a bit like this. When I worked at PS many moons ago, this was the sort of thing they'd give you. Pretty brief, as I'm sure you'd agree. It was like, that's how many people saw it, here's how many clicks you got, and just to ensure that there are 4 columns, not 3, we put a percentage on the end of it too. Very old model. The more recent model is, a marketing person would decide a budget, an ad agency is still hired, making commission on their spend. Any remarketing data that's collected, which is when people click through on your smart URL or any of these trendy URLs that they've got, they'll collect that data and own it. They give you a daily report, and the ads will complete, and then they'll give you a roundup report at the end of it. But really, the point here, the difference is that the remarketing data is all being collected and then being held by the ad agency. This would be a sort of example. The keen-eyed among you may even know which agency this is, but these are the kind of things you get. It's good. It's better than the previous one, but it's still bordering on the slightly vague, if we're honest. So the better model, which is the one that I tend to now propose to people with anyone we're working with, is that we have a ring-fence budget, but the ads are actually booked in-house wherever possible, and all ads are then A/B tested with smaller spends to actually prove that they'll work. And then, the ads can be monitored constantly or as little or as much as you'd like, but then also greater focus is placed on remarketing and pushing for conversions. So picking this apart a little bit, by booking in-house, you're then not at the mercy of having to spend a minimum amount. If you go to an ad agency, often they'll say, well, we'll book it if you give us, £1,500 or something, which leads to people only using ad agencies when the album is out and not actually for all the bits in the run-up to it, which arguably are where you build an audience, build the connections and really connect people into the new release from your artist. But equally with this, whenever the ads are running, if the ads are running on the ad account that you own, then all the data you collect from it, from people clicking through and everything else, is yours as well. Whereas on the other model, all the data collected is at the mercy, of the agency that owns it. So if that agency decides that they're going to put their commission up from 10% to 20%, then you're kind of screwed if you still want to access that remarketing data, because this stuff doesn't tend to be transferable. Most ad platforms won't allow you to just say, right, I'll take the remarketing list I built with this ad agency and now I want to own it. It doesn't work like that. So there's a huge bonus to kind of managing this stuff in-house. So why use it? No minimum spends. You can easily run an A/B test. So frequently now, let's be frank, budgets are ever diminishing in the music business. So, it's always amazing to me the degree to which people just sign off on an ad spend and then don't really think about how that money could have worked better for them. So by running things like A/B tests, which we do quite a lot now, you can sit there and say, okay, well, I think this audience would be more responsive to the ad. Inevitably, someone else will have a different view. So you can run both and answer the question, but you can do that spending as little as £10 on each ad. You don't need to be spending some crazy amount of money to understand what works here. But within all this, because you're booking the ads and you're having the insight, you also get a much clearer sense of what's going on and what's working. Additionally, you can own the remarketing data. Again, if I talk about clients of ours like Run the Jewels, then all of this is about collecting remarketing data that the band own. So when the band have a new merch line or they've got a new tour, the first people we're targeting is the remarketing list they own, because they're the first people that are going to spend money. They're the people that have proven that they are showing the most interest in the band. And then equally, there are services now that are much more kind of artist-friendly in this respect, such as Linkfire or Found.ee, which can actually assist you in further building the audiences. I think rather than try and break down what they do now, I'd suggest maybe you go and Google them instead. But in a nutshell, they allow you to create links, which you can then put across all of your websites and your YouTube channels and things. And when people click on them, it captures them for remarketing on not just one platform, but on multiples. So you can collect across, Google, Twitter, Facebook, whatever you like. Foundy at the moment is also free. So if you're not using it, you probably should be. So This is just an example of the better model of reporting that you can get now. This is taken from Facebook, where you can book ads yourself. Anyone can run an ad on Facebook. It's a very easy thing to get access to in that respect. But as you can see here, compared to the previous data where it was just going, well, this platform got you this many clicks and that platform got you this many clicks. Here we can see, among other things, exactly what the cost per click was on every day. We can see which ads are performing better. So in this instance, you can see the bottom one is driving clicks at a rate of 5 pence a click, the top one at 18 pence. And it just ensures that you're getting complete understanding of who's out there. Crucially, you're also getting insight on the audience so that you can get a sense of who's actually responding. So when you sit there and define your ad going, I want to target, fans of Radio 1 versus I want to target fans of Absolute Radio, as an example, then you will get a sense of who's responding and which of the two interests resonate better with the artist in question. So again, with this, we can see this is one ad that we ran for an artist, and we're able to see within this which interests resonated most among those that we used. So we can see here you're getting the most impressions from, I think, from New Order in this case, and the click rate in hard numbers was highest from New Order, but equally you're getting a sense of which other ones are working and aren't working, so that even within your artist campaign you're getting a sense of, how are we defining this band in the context of fans of other bands? Who are they resonating most with? And this kind of insight allows you to get much more of a grip on that, so you're not playing a guessing game. And this is where social media as ad network becomes really interesting, because the amount of insight they hold on everyone almost makes advertising like audience research in a strange way. You can run ads and get a feel for who out there is responding. So you know that if you target this set of interests and everyone responds, and then that set of interests and nobody responds, these are the interests you want to be focusing on. So really with the better model, just to summarize, by having a control over your spend and not just passing out a lump sum to another agency, you get much more efficient use of your budget. And with our clients, we feel that we've really delivered this. This isn't a sales pitch for Motive Unknown, by the way. I don't like doing that, but it's just an observation. I think that in what we've been doing, we feel that we have made the budget work a lot better for our artists by basically not just chucking a load of it at an ad agency and not ever stopping to wonder what value we get back from that. The use of remarketing is massively improving the way that we can advertise. And it means that you don't do that spammy advertising that pisses people off. If you were at the panel I was doing earlier, I was saying with Run the Jewels, we now have segments of audience, so we even understand their spending habits on the band's own website. And the band do a lot of merch, so we know what kind of things to push to which kinds of people, and we're seeing already that those are driving great results. You can also go a level up with this, in which we're seeing through what we call conversion pixels, exactly what kind of money is being spent as a result of our ads. So with one of our clients, we've already proven that for every $10 we spend on ads, they make $60 through their store. So this is not a kind of, did this, people clicked, then what happened, don't know. We've got the stuff in place to actually answer this. To some extent, it dovetails back to the Muziekgebouw presentation earlier, where, it's the same point. When you own all of this stuff on your own website, you get so much more insight, and with that, you can learn a hell of a lot more. So all of these are good reasons to use it. Around the ownership of the data, it means that you can better understand the data itself. There's more means to learn from it for all the reasons I said before. If you know that this worked better than that, then obviously you target more of the stuff that's working and avoid the stuff that isn't. Using third-party ad agencies, maybe you're less likely to get those kinds of insights. But equally, you can reuse your data for better improved ads over time. And depending on who you are, it could be that you're an artist and this data is reused in the context of just that artist. It could be that you're a label. Where labels like Ninja Tune or Warp that do very well, where people are interested in everything they release, these kinds of data that they can build up and retain can be used for further releases even. So, learn the platforms, bring this stuff in-house, and you gain control over your data and your budgets. That's it. Any questions? Marvellous. None? Go.
So, what you're saying about the sort of micro campaigns, is there a minimum number of people, say, that you need to try and target so that you've got statistically viable data that you can base it off?
Yeah, I think you would need to be careful within. I mean, it's a balance on the size of the people you're trying to reach versus the amount you're trying to spend.
Yeah.
There's a sort of ratio. If you're trying to target 7 million people with an ad test and you put £5 on it, it's probably not going to yield great results. But equally, you can do this stuff without spending a huge amount of money. So, you know, we are increasingly doing between 10 and 25 pound ad tests where we put a little bit here, a little bit there, try it, see what's working. But it yields great results, you know, in the sense of the A/B test. If the difference is between 5p a click and 35p a click, then, you know, you can figure how much more you're going to get from your £100 spend if you go with the one that works best. But no, I mean, I think it is just a balance, really. You know, don't go for massive audiences, but equally don't try and target, you know, 50 people, because that's not really going to work. Any others? Go on.
A lot of your examples were Google and Facebook ads. Are you running ads anywhere else?
We try ads all over the place. We try different ad networks even. So we're using Twitter ads. We've used quite a lot of the cleverer ad exchanges to see if they would, you know, the AI ones like Rocket Fuel and things like that. And we're digging deeper into Google through things like Google Search, where the ads are less sexy but certainly proven themselves to be more effective. We did a recent test, for example, with one of our artists who was on the Graham Norton show in the UK, you know, prime time Saturday night show, and the Google search ads kind of outperformed the Twitter ones in terms of cost per click and results, because people are obviously just Googling going, who the hell are you?
So are you saying that you're mostly doing Google and Facebook because you've seen the best results driven through those?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I mean, at the moment, we spend quite a lot of money on Facebook, but we are starting to spend more via Google now. Twitter has proven to be quite bad. It's just not delivered great value for us across the board, but at the moment, it kind of all signs point to Twitter sinking like a dead weight fairly soon, because it's clearly in trouble. So, any others? Awesome. All set? Thank you.